everyone. Thanks for having me. So you heard about my organization, Building Bands Canada, and I guess I'll just today try to help you understand how I came into this position as a 24-year-old running this organization. So I'm going to start with influences. Everyone has influences in their lives that help, determine who they're going to be. My two grandmothers were definitely influences in my life. My dad's mother grew up in Holland during World War II. They had nothing. All of their food was taken, their money was taken, and they really only had each other. So even once she came to Canada and was living a great life here, she still had the mindset that people are what matters, right? Things don't matter. And I think that's carried into my own beliefs that I need to be surrounding by people all the time and not worrying about money and things. My mom's mother, she never had any money either, mainly just because she spent it all on having fun. She died a few years ago, but I still run into her friends all the time, and they tell me stories about how inspirational she was, and she was just the type of person that made people want to live their lives. So she didn't have money, but she was rich with people and with friends, and I think I took a lot from them. It's really helped create who I am. Of course, I had influences in the arts community. Through high school, I was heavily involved in the drama program at school, the music program. I was in orchestra. I also did competitive dance outside of school. And my dance teacher, Kim, said to me, and it's really stuck with me, she said, everyone needs something in their life. Every kid needs something outside of school, whether it's music, whether it's dance, whether it's hockey. They need something that helps them feel like they're good at something, that gives them a sense of self-esteem, something that they can have as their own. And I really believe that, and I really, really think that youth and children, and especially at-risk youth, need that something in their life that can give them that sense of confidence, and that they can have something that they can feel good at. Of course, I also have negative influences in my life, just like all of you have negative and positive influences, right? I have a brother who struggles hugely with mental health problems and with addiction. Of course, I've encountered people in my life who make me feel like I'm not smart enough, I can't do the things that I want to do or live out the things that I believe in. But I've just chosen to only take from the people who influence me in a positive way, just like all of you can make that choice too, right? We get to choose which people influence us and which path we're going to go down. I want to talk today about the power of community and how community is so important, especially in the nonprofit sector and in my organization. My organization's all about community. When I was growing up, every Christmas, around Christmas time, my dad would read us The Grinch. You guys know the Dr. Seuss story, The Grinch. I'm sure you've all read it. He was a huge fan. This Grinch comes in and he takes everything from the people. He thinks he's going to ruin their Christmas. He takes, their Christmas trees, their gifts. They have nothing left in their houses. But somehow they come together and they celebrate Christmas. And they stand together and they sing together, and they have a great time because they have each other. And that story really reminds me of my own organization, Building Bands Canada, especially in the beginning. We were really struggling. I was telling someone backstage, we actually operated for 6 or 7 months, I'd say, off of, we were running about 5 music classes a week off of one fundraiser that raised $327. So we were scraping resources together. I was in university at the time. I was using my OSAP money to buy the kids granola bars because they didn't have snacks, they didn't have food. And kids were sharing instruments during the lessons. Though we worked together, it was really about the community coming together, and we made it work. And those kids that I was buying granola bars for, they've actually, I've watched them grow, and they've all been accepted into a specialized arts program, and they're there now doing music. So that's a positive. A lot of what I do is I go into these communities that have these stereotypes associated with them. I remember a few years ago I was asked to go into this community and help these kids through music. They're in gangs, they have guns, they're shooting each other, they're in drug problems and stuff, and they asked me to come in and see what I could do, and everyone said, don't go into that community. They're all over the news. It was kind of like a Jane and Finch area type Toronto housing community, and don't go in there, they have drugs, they have gangs, you're gonna get shot. So I said, well, I'm gonna go. I went, I almost turned around and I went in and the social worker said, just so you know, these kids have guns, you have to be careful, you could get shot or you don't wanna be here at night. Well, I've been working with the kids for, 2.5 years now and I'm still alive, so they can't be that bad. The community that I grew up in was an upper middle class, predominantly white community in London, Ontario. Everyone lived in quaint little perfect houses and, it would be, picture the type of community that people look at and they think, I want to live there. I want to raise my children there. But what's ironic is that there really isn't a sense of community there at all. They don't want homeless people there. They don't want a youth, shelter there. They don't want these things. And I think the reason that I'm not afraid to go into these communities that seem to be more scary and have these negative stereotypes is because I'm aware through my own experiences that the way that a community looks on the outside is not necessarily reflective of the individuals that are inside of it. The topic of this conference is igniting passion, exploring possibility, and unlocking potential. And I think that hits on what I do with building bands and what all of our teachers do. I can think of so many examples where you're looking at kids and you're thinking, they probably don't have very much potential. That's what the world has labeled them as, right? They don't have very much potential. They're on drugs. They are poor. Their parents collect welfare. Their parents collect welfare. Their parents collect welfare. And it's this cycle. But we have to look, there is good in everyone. There is good in everyone. Everyone is good at something. And if we can find that and we can make that a possibility, I look at how can I change? Am I capable of doing this? I'm capable. Can I run a music class? Yes. Can I run a fundraiser to raise money to keep this organization going? Yes. Am I capable of doing all this? Yes, I'm capable of doing it. So why would I not do this? People say to me all the time, think of all the money you would have if you put all of the energy, took all the energy that you spend on this charity and put it into a job or, education. Think of all the money you would have because you put so much energy into this charity. And yes, I might have a lot of money and a lot of things, but I wouldn't be living out my passion, right? I believe in change. I believe in equality. And I believe that when kids that everyone deserves equal access to education, to arts education, to opportunities. And when you give people those opportunities, it works. They have jobs within our organization now. They're not on welfare, right? That's change. Change doesn't always appear to be really huge, but even if you can make a little bit of change, that's something, right? I guess when you are a leader, you inspire other people to be leaders. Even if you're not meaning to, them watching what you're doing is helping them to be inspired. When I was teaching a young girl, she was actually in prison, and I was teaching her music every week, and I didn't really think she was, making too much progress. I didn't think she was really taking too much, but she loved music, and she was a great singer, and anyways, she ended up leaving, and she was very upset to leave, and it was a devastating situation, but she left, and her social worker sent me a letter afterwards through email, and it was a letter that the little girl had written. And she had written an advocacy letter because she wanted to be an advocate. And she had written to the Child and Youth Services of Canada, asking them to consider sending kids who were leaving jail and going into foster homes, allowing money for them to have musical instruments to take with them. And I thought, kids are watching me, and they're watching all of you, and they're watching what we do. And when we can inspire people, when we're just being ourselves and living out what we believe in, they're going to pick up on that, and they're going to do that too. And that's, one success story. So I guess I don't really know why I was chosen for this, to be part of building bands, to be the leader of building bands. It's just, I'm just living out my belief, and I encourage you all to do the same thing. But I can tell you for sure that one person can make a difference. We have tons and tons of kids who were, in a situation where they were, on welfare and addictions, and they're in jail. And now they're volunteering for our organization. And they're out in their communities performing and writing their own songs and being artists and teaching music. That's change. And one person can make a difference. So I guess if I can leave you with anything today, it would be that no matter what situation you've been in, if you've been in horrible situations, if you're in a horrible situation right now, it doesn't matter. You have the ability to get up and change right now. You can do it. If you have something that you believe in, you can change. Start today. Start doing it today. It can happen. You have the ability to do it, and you can make it work. Thank you.